70 kilos, thereabouts. Riddell is a very thick customer. He's normally at 75, so it'll be interesting to see how that 2.5 kilos either way works for both guys.
Moxon always very light on his feet. Riddell more flat-footed and just stands there and just throws with intent.
Loves to trade as the man from Auckland. He wasn't even scared of John Wayne Parr on 3 days' notice. He turned up in that fight ready to go. Moxon's got his work cut out for him. A loss last start out on Glory, so he needs to put that out of his mind nice and early and do the business against his Kiwi opponent.
And so Brad Riddell coming off a 5-round war against Jason Sherry, which won him the WKBF middleweight world title. That was a slugfest, Sam.
Absolute slugfest. I was fortunate enough to be there for that fight, but absolutely, yeah. Slugfest, again, is another mistake. It was a war.
Every fighter has a particular technique that if it's working early, it's a good sign for them. For Moxon, it's the overhand right. As with a lot of kick fighters, the overhand right scoring early a couple of times there. But Riddell, as you've said a number of times, he's just made out of titanium. You can hit him all day.
He's relentless. There's a key word for him. He's just relentless. He'll stay there, weather the storm, and come back. It's got a beautiful short left hook.
It's the perfect fight, isn't it? A guy who is tough as hell against a guy who won't stop punching.
As we said, Steve recently making the transition over to top-tier Muay Thai down there in Geelong, 105 Ballyang Street down in Geelong. I used to work in that building, so there you go. It's a gym.
Did they kick you out to put the gym in?
Yeah, exactly. Many years ago. But I'll tell you what, Steve Moxon, he is on the world stage now, having been signed with Glory. He's had 2 tough fights under the Glory series, and he's bringing it here to Brad Riddell at the moment.
He's showing it why. He's going high and low with the hands, and high again, that looping right. I tell you what, as tough as Riddell is, you don't want to eat too many, Sam. They're quite heavy.
No, you don't want to eat too many, but Riddell has just got a chin of granite. Honest to God, he's taken a few there, uppercuts and right body and right hooks.
He walked straight into a jab from Moxon, and when you're walking forward and the other bloke is, it's twice as heavy, and he just didn't care. There we see it again. Riddell, just the head pops back. He's like a Pez dispenser. Comes back, and he's ready for more.
I tell you what, Moxon's work rate at the moment, though, in this first round has got him up.
And he's just weaving punches, going to the body, finishing off with the leg. Just technical.
He's just busy, Steve, and that's what you like to see in a lot of fighters. He's busy. He's always working. He's always trying to hit the other bloke. May not have as heavy a hands or feet as a lot of guys on the Glory stage, but he'll certainly hit you a lot more times than you hit him.
And Richie Hardcore and Joe Hopkins in the corner from New Zealand. A big shout out to all the fans watching it over in New Zealand. It's probably about 3 o'clock in the morning over there, watching this on Go Fight Live.
Yeah, let me tell you, to everyone in the land of the long white cloud, your man has plenty of fans in Australia as he gets wobbled by Moxon, who ought to take advantage of this because there's only 10 seconds left in the round, and you don't want Riddell to have a minute on the stool to get his head together.
Moxon's work rate is phenomenal, absolutely huge. He's hit Riddell with about 5 or 6 left hands, one after the other, body shot, hooks, and straight jabs. Unbelievable.
Let's have a look at some of these highlights, and it's going to be a highlight reel for Steve Moxon throwing the big hands.
We are live around the
There's the
world.
looping overhand right, the first of about 20. Moxon works well because he doesn't throw one shot. He never throws just one. It's 2, 3, 4 punch kick. That's what works for him.
Well, as I said, the work rate, see, he makes him miss there, he'll make him pay. Like I said, there's so many unanswered punches on Riddell's behalf. He's got to do something about that.
And you've got to say too, Moxon's got probably one of the best guards going around the middleweight division. As soon as he throws it, he's straight back in again. His guard is exceptional.
He has half as much to block as everyone else. He's only little, is Steve, but he's busy. He's high, he's low. He's finishing with hooks. Nearly wobbled Riddell there on the end of one of those hooks and one of the uppercut combinations that he threw.
I think it's a big advantage for Moxon keeping up that work rate. If he can keep it up for the next couple of rounds, I think he'll have a good show on him, no?
Just don't let him get settled, yeah.
Which he will. The cardio of Steve Moxon cannot be questioned.
Just as he's been called on by Bushy, Moxon starts with a punch kick combo, touches gloves as if that's just another one. Moves in, and his stablemates, guys like Chris Bradford, good mate.
Finding that mark with that right uppercut has been phenomenal also by Moxon.
Yeah, the hooking and the uppercutting, beautiful. I mean, Bradford's in brilliant shape. All the guys out of that gym, and Moxon's been like that for years, but they just seem to train really hard.
Yeah, Moxon loaded up so much there, he missed the mark and nearly threw himself past Brad Riddell. Riddell's just not doing enough at the moment.
He's probably just trying to get his head around Moxon. Steve not doing enough with these clear shots to worry Riddell because he's so strong. Be interesting to see if this does go the distance, how Riddell performs later on.
One interesting thing with Riddell is he's actually following, or let's call it chasing, Moxon, but he's standing in front of Moxon.
Work the angles, you reckon?
Yeah, work the angles if you're going to make. He's not working the angles, he's standing right in front, and Moxon's catching him with a jab, with a hook.
The one thing I'll say about Steve Moxon is that there aren't any other fighters really like him. He's a very unique customer, and if you can't get your head around a bloke who's going to have that sort of work rate, you can find yourself in trouble.
And Moxon can hit you from any angle. That's how versatile he is.
Yeah, we saw Steve Moxon fight Jabir Askarov, and some say a controversial win to Steve Moxon, but they're rematching again coming up in June over 5 rounds.
Oh, yeah.
So to tell you what, Steve Moxon is absolutely world class, does not take a backward step, and that's why Glory signed him as well.
Well, it's the sort of style you want to turn up to see. There's going to be plenty of leather thrown. Riddell, interestingly, Sam, starting to work the angles and chop that outside leg. And that's working really well for him. There's once or twice, because Riddell very heavy-handed. There it is again. And very heavy with the kicks.
We need to see a lot more of that from Riddell if he's to score up on here in this round.
Well, inside the last minute of this second round, it's only a 3-round fight. So Riddell really needs to pick up the tempo.
Interestingly, anyone know why it's only gone to 3? I mean, you'd think you'd have these
It'll be
guys
a
at a 5-round
yeah.
distance. Anyhow, we're lucky to have them for 3. 40 seconds to go in this, the second of the 3. Moxon again just accumulating. He's just accumulating.
Yeah, I think this Moxon's got about 3-1 on punches. Picking his shots, he just picks them superbly. Makes him miss, makes him pay.
And I tell you, even though he's moved to a Muay Thai gym, the hands of Steve Moxon are still as good as anyone else's in the country at this weight.
Yeah, he's had some boxing fights as well, so he's well schooled with his hands, and they've always been his big weapon. As I said, 24 knockouts coming from his 35-odd wins.
10 seconds to go in the second round.
And Riddell's down on the cards. Riddell needs an 8 count or a knockout in this third and final round to bring it home at this stage.
Most definitely.
That's in of round number 2.
Steve Moxon, so there you go.
The other thing is, how much has the Sherry fight taken out of someone like Riddell? And I did call it earlier in the night, boys. The extra 2.5 kilo cut down to 72.5. If you're already dry, Sam, it's difficult and it can sap a fighter.
Like I said to you, to make that weight, obviously, it is a bit enduring on your body and tough. But he probably would have replenished himself within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Who knows how his body's coped with it? We don't know.
It really depends on what he has to do to get there. As we look at some of the highlights, Moxon, if you don't start that from 5 seconds into the first round, there's no point.
Here we go, third and final round. You've been watching Kings of Combat number 12. You've seen the 8-man eliminator, the Combat Kings, and now you're watching the main event, Stone Cold Steve Moxon and New Zealand's Brad Riddell. And Riddell is stepping it up in his third round, but Moxon's answering equally quick.
Riddell knows that he needs a knockout. It's been a fabulous night, and thank you to our principal partners and JPS Coatings. And, of course, Shamrock Promotions, who put on just such a wonderful event this evening, Kings of Combat. Riddell in the blue shorts from New Zealand. He needs to knock out, or at least drop Steve Moxon to have a chance at winning this fight.
Yeah, well, it's good to see Riddell's actually picked up his pace in this round. He needs to do it. He needs to hold this solid. If he's going to have a chance in this fight, he needs to hold this as solid as possible.
One thing I don't like from Brad Riddell is he's walking forward and then both hands go up and he shuts up shop directly in front of Moxon. Moxon's so sharp, he just tap and get out, you know?
Exactly. Works the body well, finishes off with a low kick.
Riddell looks a bit tired compared to how I've seen him in the past. He looks a bit laboured. Yeah,
look, he does, but there's one thing again with the cardio of Brad Riddell. He could keep going as well. It's only a 3-round fight.
Yeah.
We're a minute down, 2 minutes to go, but Steve Moxon at the moment controlling this.
It's fair to say 3x3 does not suit Brad Riddell if we're gonna call it. But then again, you could argue Moxon's ability to go that hard over 5 rounds is an advantage to him too.
Exactly right, yeah.
Yeah, look, Steve he's got 5 rounds in him every day of the week.
Yeah, I think on his worst day, he's got those rounds in him, to be quite honest. And at a good rate too. He's just ducking and weaving, making him miss, making him pay.
Oh, big overhand there from Moxon.
Moxon is trying to woo the crowd here in Dandenong with the overhand right finishing off just about every combination. Yes. If he throws a jab, an overhand right's coming.
Just over a minute to go now in this third and final round.
Final 60 seconds.
Brad Riddell needs a stoppage in 60 seconds, and for a man who hasn't been stopped often, it's going to be very difficult to stop Steve Moxon.
Yeah, and look, Steve Moxon will be very happy to return to the winner's circle after his recent loss in the Glory Series over there in Istanbul.
Yeah, obviously Moxon's got a point to prove also. You know, for me, he's rated one of the best fighters at that weight division, and he's showing it here tonight against a formidable opponent.
Steve's very proud. Most fighters are. He would have hated having that blight in Turkey on his record, and he's responded against a world-class opponent. Take nothing away from Brad Riddell. He's still welcome back any time when it comes to fighting in Australia. The Kiwi boy is a favourite of mine.
Yeah, both boys giving it everything. Steve Moxon just wants to finish up on a high here. Riddell giving it everything he's got. Moxon dominating, pushing his head away. Great body shots by Moxon tonight.
Yeah, well, there you have it. And a triumphant Stone Cold Steve Moxon stands with his hands in the air. It should go the way of the red corner. Brad Riddell just didn't do enough tonight here, guys.
The boxing energised the bunny fans because he's so busy. And as we see in these highlights from the final round, boys, he continued to do more than his opponent, and that ensured the win.
Yeah, well, absolute world-class fighter. Stands to reason why he's fighting in the Glory card. You know, one of the biggest kickboxing organisations in the world, and back here in front of his home crowd. Just been able to put techniques together so fast, so furious, and no doubt Steve Moxon tonight.
And you know what? If you can look at the body language, Brad Riddell's he's cursing himself. He's not happy. He knows that he didn't put up the ball.
He's wishing he'd done more earlier.
We'll wait for the official decision, but I think
we have a unanimous points decision. Your winner of the Kings of Combat middleweight title via unanimous points decision, red corner, Stone
no
Cold
surprises there, gents, and Brad Riddell knew that as well. He was down there applauding Steve Moxon before the